Hey everybody, and welcome to the Sauce Pot Podcast, where we come to get lost in the sauce. I'm your host, Chef Buen. Today's topic will be covering the start of March and, of course, Pokemon Day. I'm here with my guest slash co-host, ZJ.
Good morning. The first thing I want to cover is some of the news that we just got. We'll kind of end on Pokemon Day just because there was a lot to digest, I guess. Square Enix gave us a little teaser for the Final Fantasy remake, Intergrade, and we also got a lot of Final Fantasy VII related news as far as the First Soldier, which is a battle royale, and Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis mobile games, which are going to cover basically the entirety of the Final Fantasy VII timeline. Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be free in March for anyone with the PlayStation Plus, but it will not. Yeah, for sure. Like, I borrowed it from a coworker and I played it, and I never beat it because he wanted it back, and I was like, damn it. But now that it's going to be free, I'm definitely going to pick it up.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play it ever since I've seen it. It looks beautiful. I've watched a couple of my friends play it, and it just looks really
I will say they did a really good job of making you fall in love with the characters and then ripping your heart out. But as I was going to say, the free version of Final Fantasy VII Remake is not available for the PS5 upgrade. So if you were interested in getting the PS5 upgrade, you will still need to purchase either a digital or a physical copy. And if you use a physical copy, you'll need to have the PS5 with a disc drive in order to get that free PS5 upgrade. We also have the Play at Home initiative, which they're restarting. We used to have that like last year in COVID 2020 because Sony was encouraging people to stay home. But the Play at Home initiative was basically like them giving out free games to encourage people, to social distance and stay home. It's only going to last from March till June, and they're starting off March with Ratchet & Clank, the reboot. So a lot of free stuff coming us March from Sony.
Did you ever play Ratchet & Clank?
Not the new one. I played the OG one back on the PS2.
Really? See, I got it one time, I think, as like a present. I was like, this is not what I wanted. I wanted, I don't know what it was, but I didn't want it, so I returned it and got whatever game I wanted. So I never actually got into Ratchet & Clank.
Yeah, I was always more of a Jak and Daxter fan, so I was hella in the Jak and Daxter camp. So anytime someone's like, oh, you got to play Ratchet & Clank up your arsenal or Ratchet & Clank this, and I was like, yeah, I get that the names are funny because they're puns, but I don't care because I like my edgy Jak and, his dark eco and his light eco and Daxter, who would be the comedian. I'd just preferred their dynamic.
All about the edgy
All
boys.
about the edgy boys. What can I say? Sasuke is my husbando. We got the Sunny State of Play, which I didn't really care about. The only thing that I saw, which the Sunny State of Play was basically kind of like a Nintendo Direct where they go, here's what we're working on, here's what's coming, here's some new footage, here's some trailers and whatever. Got the Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, which was nice. The episode Yuffie, because everyone loves Yuffie. The game that I actually was most excited for, apart from Final Fantasy VII, was Sifu, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, which is this like brawler beat 'em up, and it looks really cool. It's got this really fun art style, and being that I'm really into these cultivation manga or manhwas or whatever the Chinese version of manga manhwa is, Sifu looks like it's going to be a lot of fun based off of that. I never really cared about Five Nights at Freddy's. They're getting the sequel finally, Security Breach. I have a friend who's really into the Oddworld series, so I'm sure he's going to be really excited about Oddworld Soulstorm. But really, I'm not really excited about any of this. Deathloop looks cool, and I hear there's a really intricate story that you can discover by playing through the Deathloops, but I'm not really looking forward too much. At least that came out in the State of Play. I'm sure there'll be a lot of other games that I'm going to be looking forward to, but right now, definitely have my time occupied with Persona 5 Scramble.
Yeah, I'm not really looking more into those games. Maybe Crash before, but that's probably about it. And even then, I probably won't get that until a couple months later. I'm focusing more on all the other releases for the year.
Yeah, I mean, let's be fair. The Switch
Mostly
lineup,
Nintendo.
the Switch lineup is really strong
Yeah.
this year. Right now, there's not really a lot of stuff coming on the other consoles that's drawing my attention. And speaking of other consoles, we have the Xbox Games with Gold. Really not a good lineup either. We got Warface Breakout, Vicious Attack Llama Apocalypse, Metal Slug 3, and Port Royale 3. So, all of those sound like games I'm never gonna play.
Yeah, I haven't really paid much attention to what Xbox does since the 360. Really, like that was the last console I owned of it. Greatest Xbox console in my opinion, but
I keep telling people this, and I don't think they understand how much of this is true. I bought an Xbox One specifically for Rock Band. Because when Harmonix was like, you can transfer all your DLC over from the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. I was like, well, I've only bought every single game except for the Beatles game. Let me transfer all that over to my Xbox One. So if they had one of those decal or the skins or cases or shells or whatever the word is called for the Xbox One that was just like Rock Band and Harmonix, it would be my Rock Band machine. That's all it is. It's my Rock Band machine.
that's understandable because I do remember having some good times playing Rock Band and whatever at your house.
I love that game. Too bad we're gonna see what happens as far as the next generation consoles if Harmonix continues it or if they go a separate route, which I hope they do, but I also understand as far as like upkeep on networks and development costs and everything else. So and licensing fees and
more DNC
yep,
rules.
or rules.
Yeah, I guess you were saying something about Henry Cavill teasing trolling from Mass Effect.
Yeah, on the topic of Mass Effect, and I was a big Mass Effect fan. I am a big Mass Effect fan. And there's this picture floating on the internet where Henry Cavill has a blurred out script in front of him, but if you unblur the script, you can make out words like Talizora and Cerberus. And so we think he's teasing a Mass Effect something or other. Maybe he's just being a voice character being added into the remake. I don't know. I would love to see a live action Mass Effect.
About to say, like, Henry Cavill in any live action.
Yeah, he's just such an outward nerd, and this is why we go back to Post Malone as opposed to Katy Perry. Like, anyone who's outwardly nerdy, I'm okay with them doing game-related stuff because they want to make it good. You have people who aren't outwardly nerdy. Like, on the topic of outwardly nerdy, there's this interview with Tom Holland where he's worried about his portrayal of Nathan Drake because he was more concerned about looking good in the scene than acting or like being in character. So he's like, oh yes, I want to make sure my arm is flexed here because I want to look good for the cameras as opposed to actually acting. So like, I'd rather someone be like, I care more about the script and making sure everything's done right than, oh, I care if I look good here.
Yeah, no, I feel that because like I really loved the way Henry Cavill did The Witcher.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was such an amazing. I'm so excited for the next season already.
I was watching this thing as like people react, and there was this longsword instructor was watching Henry Cavill's scene in The Witcher, and the only thing he had to say about Henry Cavill that was incorrect was him reverse handing it. But anytime he was fighting, he was using his space very well. The longsword instructor was actually very impressed with Henry Cavill's mastery of the sword.
I remember what was it? He said that he like missed an interview or something because he was playing WoW.
Yeah. He missed the call to play Superman because he was in a raid for WoW, and he had to call him back.
Yeah.
That's so
That's
awesome. Like, how many people?
Like, that's what. Like, yeah, how many people can you say do shit like that? Like, I mean, yeah, no, like me, you probably have done like some IRL stuff like that, but like people like Henry Cavill,
like famous people, actors, like you couldn't imagine Tom Cruise doing that. You couldn't imagine. Like, I could imagine Simon Pegg doing something like that, but not like a quote-unquote serious actor.
Yeah. No, that's why, like, I would really hope that we do get some kind of Mass Effect live action, because, I played the games a little bit. They were all right. I wasn't as big into them as you were, but still.
Yeah, well, what can I say? I'm a sucker for dating sims, and you threw an RPG on top of that. Ooh, boy. That's why I love Persona so much. No, but let me just jump on this really quick. So Mass Effect, I bought every DLC. I bought every game. I bought Mass Effect 2 like 4 times.
Four
Yeah, so
times.
I bought it once at launch, and then it's a multi-disc game, and one of my discs stopped working. So I bought it again. And then I thought I lost the second one, the second copy that I bought. So Jess bought me a third one. And then I found the other one. And then when they released the bundle trilogy, I bought it again. So I bought it 4 times.
Well, I mean, I can't say I have never made a mistake like that. I say mistake, but I've honestly just bought the game just to have it again for like you said, like a special edition or uh new content. But that's
Yeah,
insane.
no, I'd have to say Mass Effect 2 is probably my favorite, just because it was more streamlined, and as far as the characters, I like them a little bit better because we had some cardboard cutouts in Mass Effect 1, and like they put way more depth into the alien characters, which was nice. But for me, I was like, oh, Talizara is innocent. I don't want to like romance her, and I don't even think you could romance her in episode 1. Uh, and then Caden and Ashley were garbage characters. Like Caden was all like, "Yeah, human rights, fuck aliens," and then Ashley was all like, "Oh, I believe in God. So does that make me weird?" And I was like, "That's your entire personality? Is that okay?"
Yeah, I can't remember if I played one or two or both, but wasn't it three that I heard that didn't have a good ending, or people
Yeah,
were.
people were really up in arms about the ending to 3 because there's this picture on the internet and it shows an EV with Mass Effect written on top of it, and then it shows the evolutions, and it says what we expected to get was like all the different endings would be like based off of all the choices you made from games 1 to 3, and then it shows what we actually got was a picture of Evie that says Mass Effect, and then Evie in 3 different color swaps, so it was like red, green, and blue, and that's 100% what it is. Like every ending was pretty much exactly the same, and the only thing that changed was your choice at the very end, and that was the only thing that mattered was your choice at the very end. And
Mhm.
everyone's all pissed because it's like, okay, well, everything that I did leading up to this got boiled down to a value in this system of what they called galactic readiness. So all my choices didn't matter because you could get that galactic readiness high by playing the multiplayer, so you would never need care about all the choices you made. So people were just really pissed about the ending because it didn't matter what you did in the past, and yeah, it's it'll be fun to revisit it once they do the what do they call the Mass Effect re-release? There's a word for it. I guess Legendary Edition. Yeah, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which would be fun to revisit it, and hopefully they included the because they came back and they changed the ending with DLC, free DLC, the extended cut. And
Mhm.
the Mass Effect Legendary Edition will feature the extended cut ending by default, but hopefully they add a little bit more. I'm hoping, but we'll see what happens when the game comes out.
I guess we got a little
Yeah, real
lost
deep
in
on
the
that
sauce
one.
on
My
that
bad.
one. No, you're good. Didn't realize you were that into Mass
Yeah,
Effect.
really, really enjoy it. So, getting back to some news we got recently, uh, electronic game, Electronic Entertainment Exposition, better known as E3, was canceled for 2021, and Anime Expo as well was canceled. So sorry, Los Angeles, you get nothing. But both
Maybe like a
E3,
virtual.
yeah, both E3 and Anime Expo are going to be doing a virtual event. So hopefully, something comes out as far as E3 goes. Like maybe a bunch of game demos will drop on E3 day, uh, and anyone who had a ticket will get special something or other. I don't know, but E3's canceled. Sorry guys if you had a ticket for that. I think they're reimbursing you. But
Better be,
yeah,
man. That'd be kind of shit if they didn't.
hey man,
Or they're gonna
South
pull
by
a BlizzCon
Southwest,
and just.
yeah, South by Southwest is never reimbursed, so that's why they go rain or shine. We don't care. It's like, you guys are dicks.
That's why I'm always skeptical about tickets like that.
Well, I bought Riot Fest 2021 in Chicago, so hopefully that still happens.
Well, I got my fingers crossed for you.
Yeah. If any of you don't know what Riot Fest is, 2021, it's happening in September. It's got a huge lineup. It has one of my favorite bands, COVID and Capitalism. Coheed and Cambria. They'll be coming. My Chemical Romance is coming. Taking Back Sunday. Smashing Pumpkins. A lot of really good bands are coming to that. If you are interested, I believe they're still selling tickets. And again, I hope it comes to fruition. I'll be really sad if it doesn't, because this will be the first time I get to see My Chemical Romance ever in my life. So that'll be nice. But jumping off of that, let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty, the meat and potatoes, the the secret of all sauces. That's not really a secret. We've been talking about this for like the last 3 episodes, but
right, Pokemon Day.
Pokemon Day.
So we did get quite a bit of news last week, not just on Pokemon, the day before the 26th, but we did get some Pokemon Snap, 2 new installment. I guess technically 3. You got Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Legends of Arceus, or Legends Arceus.
Is it Arceus or Arceus? I always said Arceus.
I always said Arceus, but in the presentation they were saying Arceus. So
intriguing.
Mm-hmm. I guess for just to start things off, for Pokemon 25, they had Post Malone, do his concert. It was actually pretty well done. The graphics were actually not bad.
Yeah, I'm sure that GIF or GIF, depending on how you pronounce it, of Umbreon bobbing its head, I'm sure that's going to be circulating the internet for a long time going forward.
Oh yeah, no, they had some good like the Celebi floating in the forest, mm-hmm. Everything was so good.
I just wish it was longer. It was only like 15 minutes long, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, I was like, wait, did I just that's it? Like, I was talking to my buddy, and he was like, wait, what do you mean that's it? Like, I thought you said it just started. I was like, yeah, it did, like 10 minutes ago, bro.
Because like when we got the news, we had heard Katy Perry first, and then they announced mm-hmm. Post Malone, and we had expected like an actual virtual concert. So like she would do her thing, and then Post Malone would do his thing. But instead, what they're doing is an album, and which is crazy to me because like we had all this hype for Pokemon Day, and all we got was this 15-minute virtual Post Malone concert.
Yeah, how's that a concert?
Yeah, it's
he did like 4 songs. Like no, but I mean they weren't bad. Like the Hootie and the Blowfish cover actually was pretty good. I like that they used the gold and silver music from the games for it. And like, apparently that's what they're going to be doing on the album is they're going to be like have 14 songs by 11 different artists, including Katy Perry, J Balvin, which I don't know who that is.
He's a Hispanic singer, so he does a lot of Hispanic Mexican music. I guess not Mexican music, but Spanish music. And then according to Pokemon Company, one more surprise artist.
I thought it was more than one.
It's more than one, but like apparently one really big name, I would assume.
Huh. Wonder who that could be.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be something crazy like Pitbull.
Oh my god, if it is, I will literally just like never listen to that album. I do not want Pitbull. Please not Pitbull.
Dale.
I'd rather them like have Taylor Swift or something like.
I could see T-Swizzle. Oh,
I could see T-Swift on there.
I would be 100% happy with Panic at the Disco.
Oh, dude, if Panic at the Disco was on there, like I could totally see that, and I'd be okay with that as long as it's like something kind of old school Panic-y, because
I like the new stuff. I like the new stuff.
I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just some of it sounds a little too poppy for me.
Dude, Death of a Bachelor was a BA album. It was awesome.
I'm not saying it wasn't. Just
how can you hate on Hey Look Ma, I Made It when you have actual Muppets in the music video?
Hey, I love that song because when I first moved up here to Colorado, like I was driving up and I crossed over the state lines or got into like the city. I can't remember either or. No. What it was is I had just gotten my job first day, worked my first night, and I was driving back home to my whatever house, and like I turned that song like wound up coming on, and I just like was jamming out to it. Like, oh man, it was
just like the perfect time to hear that song.
Yeah, no, it really was. Like,
yeah, hopefully we'll get some Panic on this album. It's going to be a digital album released by Universal Music Groups and Capitol Records. Supposedly it's going to feature 14 songs by 11 different artists, so we'll see what we get with that. But yeah, I don't want to say I'm excited for the album, but I'm probably going to at least listen to it. I may not buy it or download it, but I will probably listen to it.
Support official releases, but I probably will find a way to,
Yeah.
Be a degenerate.
Yeah, we Shadow Zone.
Getting back to the Pokemon games, so we got a better look at Pokemon Snap, which is coming April 30th. Make sure you got your pre-orders in. Keep forgetting to go to GameStop and do
You
mine.
can do
I
it
just,
digitally.
pandemic. I know. I like going in and
Yeah.
making sure.
I like doing it in
Like,
person as well, just because I like to look
mhm.
around. I like to see merch.
Yeah,
The GameStop employees are, oh, you like this? Well, how about this? And it's like, I never knew about that. Thank you.
yeah, right.
At least the good
Like,
GameStop employees. There's a lot of people who are just there to collect a paycheck.
yeah, exactly. Like I know, like the manager at the one I go to is just like that. But the employees are pretty nice for the most part.
Yeah. We
But
have.
I'm pretty excited for Pokemon Snap.
I will probably get Pokemon Snap mainly because I think it'd be something I can play with my sister because she's not a very good gamer. To her credit, she tries. But I think this will be something fun that I can do with my sister and watch her be terrible at this.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty easy play for newcomers. I'm excited to see how the Switch is going to work with the game. So yeah, it looks like you'll be exploring the Lental region with Professor Mirror and his assistants Rita and Phil. And it also looks like we'll get to see some Todd Snap as well.
I don't know, but at least we got to see some of the Pokemon, like a Alolan Raichu, who is super cute.
Oh, dude, seeing all the Pokemon in that game, like those are some good graphics right there. Not nothing against Legends, just saying like Pokemon Snap. I think is going to be really cool. It's going to give us a little more insight towards habitat of Pokemon. Apparently, there's like a survey level for each area. As your survey level goes up, the Pokemon you kind of change and how they interact with you, allowing you to get better photos. I think more Pokemon appear as well as your level goes up. There's going to be like editing photos, changing focus zoom, the lighting customization with the stamps and borders, and then you can like share this all online with people. So like everyone in the world's gonna be able to see your photos.
What's your
So
thoughts
make sure
on the pre-order bonus with that stupid frame?
I didn't even care for it. I was hoping that there'd be something cooler, but like it was from Target, right? That was the only place that was doing
Yeah,
the,
I
the
believe so.
bonus. Yeah, like what? I'm gonna get a frame. Like what? I'm gonna print it out. Like no, no thanks. Give me like a cool pre-order bonus. Like I don't know, like a keychain or something.
Yeah, I think a keychain would have been a lot cooler of like the Neo 1 vehicle or,
Yeah.
something.
I wonder what other Pokemon there's going to be because apparently there's over 200 Pokemon, but that you're definitely not going to get all of them.
Yeah. Let's say there's a hard cap of like, let's say 300. I wonder what they're going to cut it down to. And like as far as which legendaries are going to make the cut, because like we know Celebi is going to make the cut for sure. I would assume Mew probably would as well. Just because Mew was the final level of the first Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, if Mew's not in there, then I would be a little disappointed, honestly. I do think like the glowy thing is kind of weird, but they always have to add in their new gimmicks, of course. Dude, you know me and my gimmicks, man. Like, I'm very what's the word I'm looking for? Stingy, picky, particular.
I think particular is a good word.
I'm very particular about these gimmicks they added, and this I don't know. I don't like. I guess it makes for a cool new photo, but like whatever. Not really what I was looking for. Is glowy Pokemon. It's like, do we need giant Pokemon? No, I don't think so. Which I don't think that's going to be an aspect in the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. So I'm a little glad about that. Which rolling over to those games real quick. I know you said you probably won't get them, right?
Yeah, I probably won't get a Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl or whatever the heck it's called. I will probably pick up Legends Arceus, because as far as at least I have the hope that maybe you'll be able to have a ghost mode and play with your friends, and as far as that goes, because you can't make a Pokemon game and have it not be cooperative or at least competitive. You cannot do that. And if they were to say this Pokemon Legends Arceus is single player only, they're wrong, first off. And second, I have some friends who want to play that one, and at least because that was my biggest drawback with playing Pokemon Sword, was that I didn't have anyone to play with. So I was like, yeah, but you're all the way across whatever the hell.
I know.
So it's like, and like my buddy in Dallas when I went up to visit him, he was like, "Oh, let me trade you all these Pokemon. That way you can have them, and let me give you this Pokemon, and you can breed them, and you can hatch them. That way they're yours, and you're not just using my Pokemon, and you get the challenge of raising them, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Thank you, that's awesome." And so for a while there, I was actually heavily playing Pokemon Sword, and then once I breeded them and then I raised them, I fell off because I was like, "Okay, well, I have the team that I want. There's really no reason to play anymore."
I was taking so long getting the shiny Pokemon I want because I was shiny hunting for a
Nope,
while.
nope. I have better things to do with my time.
I know. I have no life sometimes. But I mean, like, I'm hoping, like, they said that these are faithful remakes of the Diamond and Pro games, so I wonder if we'll be able to shiny hunt for those starters, because you bet your ass I will if I can.
Well, I'm sure.
That's just, I have a
Yeah, I'm
problem.
sure they will, and I'm sure the mining is going to come back. And
Well, I don't know, because they did take out the shiny starters for the last couple games.
well, yeah, you're not wrong. But what's your opinion on the chibi-fied graphics? So instead of doing like the 32-bit, 64-bit,
I
they did chibi artwork.
It's literally a 3D of their OG
Yeah,
artwork. That's really all it is, and I'm kind of okay with it. I know a lot of people were hating on it, but I've always liked chibi style stuff. It does look a little weird, I guess, but I'm still okay with it. I was originally hating on Diamond. This guys, remember, I was hating on Diamond Pro remakes. I didn't want them. I didn't ask for it. I said it 8
I did
times.
confirm it. So
I didn't want
I
salmon.
did confirm it.
Yeah, I know you did. I was just in denial. I knew they were coming. I just didn't want them to because I really wanted Johto, like some kind of Johto game. Which I'll get into that when we get into the Legends game. But uh, I'm okay with the chibi style. I'm actually kind of, I guess I'm a little excited for these games now. I will play them. I do want to know, like, are we gonna get the distortion world in this? Like, what aspects from Platinum will we get, if any? I'm not saying we were going to get any because, like, they're called Diamond Pearl, not Platinum. But in previous games, they've always added in extra content, like in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, they had the Delta episode. They said that these are faithful remakes, and they didn't change. They didn't seem to change up any of the characters' art styles. Are the exact same characters that we've gotten in the previous game. So it's like, what else are we gonna get? Like, are we gonna get Distortion World? Will we get Detective Looker back
You mean
again?
Doctor Who?
Yeah, Doctor Who, basically. I mean, he's been in every other game after that. So besides, I think, like Black and White 2 and Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Sword and Shield. But I know that this person Voltimir on Twitter had found an extra NPC that was added to Florima Town to talk to you about the Gracidia and give it to you when you came with the shaman. They were also in the trailer, so that's one thing that they noticed that was originally in Platinum that will also be in the remakes of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. But not saying that there's going to be more aspects of Platinum. I just thought that was kind of a neat little thing. Maybe we'll get a shaman again,
Maybe we will.
and we'll be able to. And again, this could also just be like its own alternate universe by itself. Like, you know how crazy the Pokemon timeline is. I don't know. Like, it's really interesting to see like what they're gonna do with these games. I'm definitely gonna get Diamond like I did originally. I think my brother got Pearl, and then I eventually wound up getting Pearl because I always wound up buying the second one because I didn't have other friends, and just like, I know my brother had his game, but he always like did his own thing or lost them or wasn't far enough in the game, so I just had to do it myself. Love you, Mark. I know you might be listening, but but yeah, no, I'm pretty excited for these new games. I think I'm really more excited though for the Legends games. There's That's going to change the Pokemon world a bit. Like, what's it going to do to the lore? Because originally Professor Oak was the one who created the Pokedex and brought you your starters and all of that. So what's going to happen? Like, I've got a couple theories myself about this because the original professor from the Sinnoh games, Professor Roman, he actually had visited Kanto. I think it was like a year before Gen 1. But yeah, I know Professor Rowan had actually been to the first generation. Had been to Kanto before Gen 1, and Professor Oak was known to roam the world. Like, not roam the world, but he was known to be a Pokemon professor, and I'm pretty sure he roamed around. So who's to know that Professor Oak isn't the one that is commissioning you to do the Pokedex? Look how old they are, and people want to say that they're not going to be part of this new gen. What if they are? What if these two professors are part of this new gen, and we're not getting a new professor. We're just looking to the old professors. And Oak's like, hey, look, I'm coming from this other land. I was traveling around, found these Pokemon. Check out these starters.
I don't know if that theory holds water. Because again, we're supposed to be looking like a feudal era of Pokemon for at least Arceus. Um, so I don't know if that theory holds water unless we're doing this whole time travel and
Well, I'm not saying time travel. I'm just saying like how far back are we going? They don't specify how far back we go.
yeah, that's true.
And like a lot of people on the internet have been saying we could be getting like ancient Pokemon, ancient Sinnoh Pokemon. But I don't know. Like if it's really feudal, it doesn't look that old. Like I don't know. I don't see it being as far back in time that we will see fossilized Pokemon or like things like that, prehistoric Pokemon. I guess I'm kind of hoping more for like not regional variants per se. I'm always stuck on that, but like previous generation of Pokemon, like the Pokemon, like maybe a previous form of that Pokemon of the Pokemon of Sinnoh, like the Beta Garchomp that we saw in the leaks. Like we can get like that orangey looking Garchomp and see how it evolved into the Garchomp that we see today. But I'm not so sure about prehistoric Pokemon. It would be cool to see some. But I'm thinking we're just going to see a whole lot of different Pokemon that we weren't originally seeing in the Sinnoh because it's like a different climate, Like, do you think we would see prehistoric Pokemon in this?
I I think we could, like, as far as like we could see maybe Kabuto or Kabutops like around the oceans or maybe in caves. We could see like I as far as prehistoric Pokemon, like fossilized Pokemon in their natural habitats, I think would be really cool. Because like as far as biologically, how long does it take to make a fossil?
I mean, yeah, that's the other thing. Like, it depends on like what year these Pokemon were fossilized in. Because I know they say they were hundreds, millions of years before Generation One are these Pokemon, but like, how many years is this Diamond Pearl remake? I don't think like if it depending on how far back it is, we won't really see any prehistoric Pokemon. But what was the wording that they used?
According to Google, it takes 10,000 years to make a fossil.
10,000 years. That's all. It's quite a long
Yeah, that's a
time.
lot longer than I thought it would. I was hoping maybe it was only like 1,000 years. So I don't think, as far as that, kind of takes away my hope that we get to see some of them prehistoric Pokemon, but who knows?
I guess my thing is like the Sinnoh region is changed, like the environment of it is changed. So, do you think we could possibly get other regional variants, maybe finally, to like the Pokemon that we saw in the Sinnoh region before?
That'd be cool. I'd be down for like some Sinnoh, or how would you call it? Sinnohan?
Sinnohan Pokemon?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Because like you can see that you can go out and catch Piplup and Chimchar like out in the wild, but I guess like in Diamond Pearl like they're not as common. So I guess the environment changed, and that's maybe what the professor is studying in Diamond and Pearl is like why as to why is like why these Pokemon like that's why those are the starters because that was the point of the professors was to study those Pokemon and give them to you as like starter Pokemon because they were doing research on the Pokemon, right?
It'd be fun to see like a Galarian Zigzagoon, because that was the very first Zigzagoon.
So maybe we'll see a Sinnohian Zigzagoon.
Yeah, like maybe a hybrid version where it's a cross between the Galarian and the, I quote, a normal Zigzagoon. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see like other types of Pokemon in the Sinnoh region, like before Sinnoh was made, to see what the habitats were like back then and what Pokemon were like and how they migrated. Because that was my big thing about the gimmicks of Pokemon is I wanted a more what was like animal ecosystem type deal in the Pokemon world where you could see their niches and habitats and how they worked in each environment and with like around each Pokemon and with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're, like you said, biological beings.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was upset that we got so many random ass Pokemon and not like more regional variants. Because, like I said, that would make so much more sense to the biology of the Pokemon world. Like, you don't get like a million different cat kind of Pokemon. You can have like a couple different cat Pokemon, and you have a Galarian Meowth, Kanto Meowth, Alolan Meowth, and then you can have a Sinnoh Meowth. You know, things like that. Like, you know what I'm talking about, guys. I'm just saying, I like regional variants a lot. I wish they would have introduced that sooner. And then backtracking a little bit, going to the starters of Legends. Why couldn't we get some kind of like, I don't know, not, I guess maybe a regional variant to the starter Pokemon or something? That would have been kind of cool. But instead we get, I mean, I understand why they picked the ones they did, you know, because they're trying to represent the feudal era with Shogun, the Archer, and the Explosion Master, Nobunga Oda. Oda Nobunga. Sorry. Gotta say his name right.
Isn't it Nobunaga?
Nobunaga?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Gotta say his name right. Whatever.
All right. Oda Nobanga?
Oda Banana.
Oda Banana. But you know what I mean? Like, I kind of wish we would have gotten different starters. Like, maybe not
regional variants.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm stuck on the regional variant thing. I wish we could get some regional variants for the Pokemon world, and that would have been cool to get for this Legends game for the starters. Like, instead of like, because I guess I'm just so confused as to why they would bring in these like random starters from regions that like originally had nothing to do with each other and I didn't think they would know about each other because you don't.
Yeah, like the main one I'm concerned about is Decidueye or Rowlet, like because he's from Hawaii. Okay, well, you know, one of a fairly close environment, I guess, but I don't see an owl migrating across the ocean.
Well, technically, they were brought over by one of the other professors from the other regions, and like he's supposed to be an endangered species from like, I guess because like they're based off of endangered extinct species, or that's what the Pokemon are in Sun and Moon. From I was reading a tweet by Dr. Lava, and he was saying something about that, like that's why Decidueye is a ghost Pokemon.
I don't think that theory holds water personally, but
I don't know. He does his research pretty well on Pokemon. Like, I'd believe what Dr. Lava was saying. But yeah, that's why like I was a little more confused of Rowlet coming over. I could understand Cyndaquil just because Cyndaquil and Johto did happen. Like the Gen 2 and Gen 4 happened at the same time. Because like when you start the game for Diamond Pro, they're like, oh hey, like they're doing a report on the Red Gyarados scene in the Lake of Rage, and so that's you and your buddy go out to go see if you can find one of those at the lake near your house. But yeah, I guess where I was getting at is I didn't think that the Alola region had been established, so I didn't think you could get a Rowlet at this point. But again, like this could just be its own timeline, its own universe on its own. It could be restarting everything. Maybe like that one fan theory suggests Team Galactic won and they restarted the timeline and tried to make everything new. I don't know. But like, what if you like you didn't get a regional variant or like one of those starters? Like, well, would you rather have different starters or would you rather have just had the variants? Like
Charmander.
I was saying, Charmander. You're going back to the basic poster boy.
No, just kidding. But yes,
Kidding, guys.
I'm totally kidding. We were talking earlier about how Charmander gets so much love, and I'm really actually happy that some of the other Pokemon are getting some love in Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't really particularly care about Oshawott, as we talked about a while back. I couldn't even remember its name off the top of my head. I only remembered Tepig and Snivy. Or Smugleaf, sorry. Smugleaf.
Smugleaf, yeah.
But I'm really glad some of these other Pokemon are getting some love, and I'm kind of glad it's not like the...
I wish we would have got out Froakie instead of Oshawott.
No.
You don't like Froakie?
Froakie's way too mainstream. Ash has a Froakie. Ash is a good ninja.
I know, but he's a ninja.
No.
He's a ninja.
To be fair, ninja were a bad thing in like feudal era Japan. Because
they were still a thing.
They had no honor. They were a bad thing.
You leave Froakie alone. He's one of my favorites. I love that would have made my decision so much harder if they had Froakie, Rowlet, and Cyndaquil. I would have not known who to choose. I would have had to buy 3 different versions of the game.
My issue is how come you give a dual type to the grass and you're not a dual type to the others? And like I get it, all the other fire dual types are fighting types, and everyone gets all up in arms about firefighting types. But
they could have given Cyndaquil like a dark type. That would have been sick because dark types were introduced in Gen 2.
That would have been cool, like a regional Cyndaquil. He has black fire.
That's where we could have had the regional variant. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Regional variants would have been such a cooler idea, like a way better way to go with Pokemon than having millions of Pokemon that just don't make sense. I really want to know why they didn't go that route. That's a big question that's always been on my mind of Pokemon. And like that also makes me wonder what other Pokemon are we going to get different in this game than we got to see in the Sinnoh game. Like, it's going to be almost the exact same Pokedex, or are we going to get completely different Pokemon? Because it's saying that people travel from other regions to the Sinnoh, to this world of Sinnoh. So like, why are those Pokemon there now and not in the game that we play? You're telling me those 3 starters are there, and then your character brings those starters there, and they didn't somehow reproduce in that region. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Dittos didn't exist back then, so that's what I'm gonna go with.
I guess. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ditto's been in every region of Pokemon, which actually, would that really make sense? Because I thought there was that theory that Ditto was a byproduct
of the creation of Mewtwo. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that would mean Ditto wouldn't be around back then, because if that theory is correct and he's a failed experiment of Mew, then he wouldn't be around in this time. So if we do get Ditto in the Sinnoh region in this previous game, then maybe that means that he isn't a failed experiment of Mew. I still believe it to be true. I know there was a theory about it recently with some Pokemon cards. I can get into that in another subject, but I just wanted to talk about, these games. But which, like, that brings me back to other Legends games where we get more Legends games where we find out like stuff about like Legends of Lugia, and we find out about like those legends, and we get like before the bell tower was burned.
I would be 100% okay with exploring the lore of Pokemon in more Pokemon Legends games. I would 100% be okay with that. Because
like, what if in that game, like a previous, like a Johto Legends game, you got to get the 3 Pokemon that were burned in the tower that became Suicune, Entei, and Raikou?
According to a well-known fan theory, the 3 Pokemon that burned were Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon.
Well, I saw another theory about how, because there's these Pokemon that were leaked in the beta leak, where they had like all the beta Pokemon leaked out, and there's 3 Pokemon that were like dog-like Pokemon, and they looked like they could have been the previous forms of
Suicune, Entei, and Raikou.
Yeah, exactly. And I know there's an artist on Twitter, Racy Beeps. She did all the redraws for them. Those were one of my favorites because I really like to think that theory is true. I guess that was his demo sprite from the Gold and Silver demo.
Interesting. Well, for those of you who can't see what we're pointing at, the original sprite work for Entei looked a lot better than its final form, because Entei's final form looks dumb, in my opinion.
I mean, I really like these forms. Again, guys, if you want to see the demo sprite recreation, it's you can follow the artist at Racy Beep on Twitter. She makes some really cool Pokemon artwork. And like I said, I really like these sprites for the original designs for Suicune, Entei, and Raikou. And I really think like if we got a Legends game for Johto, that we could possibly see these Pokemon in it. And I really would love to see more Legends games. Honestly, we got one for Kanto. Like from Mew, maybe we got to see more of the Mew species, because according to some rumors or some, I guess, like theories, Mew was, there was multiple Mews. Like there was a whole species of Mew that were around back in the olden Pokemon days.
I'll let you have that one in a little box on the shelf, because I don't believe that legendaries are genderless. They can't reproduce.
I mean, technically, Mew was reclassified as a mythical Pokemon, which is a subset of legendaries, which, yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's still technically a legendary Pokemon. But as per the Pokedex, it says it's a rare species. And them saying that Mew was the origin of all Pokemon, like, that would kind of imply that there were multiple Mews at one point because if Mew is the ancestor to every Pokemon that species, then how else did like multiple species get created? Did they just come out of Mew? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like there would had to have been multiple Mews for there to be more Pokemon because it is technically the ancestor of all. And technically, there was that one episode of the Pokemon anime where there was like a baby Articuno. And then you also see that there's a Galarian form of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. So it's like, how would you explain there being multiple forms of these species? Like, that's the other thing. Like, how can there be a Galarian Articuno or Moltres, Zapdos, whatever, without there being multiple of that Pokemon? Like, you can't just, they can't just appear out of nothing. They would have had to, because those Pokemon were made from the environment that they live in, you know? Which, again, that's like where I come back to getting more into the biology of Pokemon and there being more regional variants and explaining how the habitats and them growing up in these habitats work. But, instead we get giant Pokemon and other gimmicks we don't need. These, like, things like that are confusing. So, like, in a sense, I kind of agree with you about the legendaries where there should only be one and they can't reproduce whatever. But, with them adding in these other variants of, the other legendaries, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, them having regional forms kind of makes me wonder about their biology and there being more than one of them. Because, I mean, they're legendaries. They're supposed to be, they just are omnipotent beings. I can't fucking say the word. They are omnipotent beings, and they just hold power over the region. That's why I find it very hard to believe for trainers to just catch them all willy nilly. Like the ones in the anime that just ran, like the dude who showed up at the Pokemon League with the Latios and the Darkrai. Like fuck that dude. Like there's no way he has some legendaries. The kid in the newest anime who just caught the Suicune, just like right there for Pokeball, just chucked it out there. It was like, oh, I'm catching you. Like I get it. It was like I think it was probably because like Suicune knew he was about to be captured by some bad guys. He was like, oh, fuck it, I'd rather go in this kid's Pokeball. But still, there's no way that like that just makes me so mad. Legendaries can't be so easy to catch. Like I'm over here fighting these legendaries, throwing Pokeball after Pokeball, whittling the HP down to whatever, and these kids in the anime just catching them left and right as if they're nothing. Like, yes, no, I do not use Master Balls and Legendaries if I don't have to. Depending on like what I want. It's like usually I'll want it in like some kind of specialty ball, but they should not be so goddamn easy to catch.
I love listening to your rants.
I'm just saying, I don't know. Like, there's a lot I have to say on the Pokemon series. These, like, mainly being like legendaries, regional variants, and things like that. I would really love to see more Legend games. I want to learn more about the lore of Pokemon because it's a hot mess. Whether like it really is. Like there's different like universes and whatnots and who's it's and just get rid of the gimmicks, get rid of megas, get rid of giant Pokemon. Just give me a normal monster catching game that has biological monsters that migrate and form their habitats. And they reproduce, they grow up, you get to learn about the biologies of the species and why it becomes that species in that environment, or why it's a different species in a different environment, why you get an evolution in this region rather than that region, things like that. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking to get information on in Pokemon, not just randomly thrown in giant Pokemon and Mega Pokemon and different universes, Ultra Beasts, whatever. Like, no offense to those games, like, whatever. I mean, but you guys have heard me bitch about the gimmicks and how I feel about them. I mean, at this point, I might as well just add them to the list of words, or like gimmicks and regional variants. Might as well add those to the list of words that we're including in our little drinking game. But with that being said, that's the kind of monster game I'm looking for. Or, like that's what I would want with the Pokemon series. If they make more monster catching games and they include something like that, will I pick it up? Maybe. I'm such a diehard Pokemon fan that it's kind of hard for me to switch monster games, but y'all know how it goes. And whether, like, I'm not saying that the Legends is going to restart the Pokemon timeline. I'm just saying maybe they can fix a couple loopholes here and there and give us some more insight into the lore. Because I feel like the Brilliant Diamonds, Shining Pearl are going to be possible, like just their own timeline or their own, like it's kind of new universe of Pokemon, but which maybe that fan theory that Cyrus actually won and restarted the universe, and that's what the whole Legends game is about. Maybe that could be it, and it's a whole new world, whole new universe that we're gonna get. Either way, I'm excited to see what they're going to do, which we'll see as they come out. Which they were saying that Brilliant Diamond Shine Pearl were coming late 2021. I'm thinking November. That's usually when the games are dropped, so that's gonna be my guess. October, November. I'm leaning more towards November.
Yeah, I could definitely see like a holiday release.
But for Legends, I can see probably like March or April. Most leaning again more towards April for that next year because they said 2022. So, and hopefully by then they'll get the graphics a little bit tweaked better.
I don't know why the collective community is all up in arms like, oh my god, the graphics are terrible. It's a Pokemon game. You don't play the Pokemon game for the graphics, you play it for the gameplay.
I'm just mad because okay, how many years have Sinnoh fans been crying for Sinnoh remakes, and they not only get one Sinnoh game, but two Sinnoh games, and they're not happy with either? I mean, I guess I get it. That's Nintendo fans as a whole, Pokemon fans as a whole, just not happy with what they get. But like, oh my god, they finally listened to you guys. They're giving you faithful remakes of the Diamond Pearl series, and they're giving you a prequel to that series, and you're still not happy. Like, come on. Like, even me, someone who didn't want Sinnoh games whatsoever, is happy about this.
I'll be excited when we get our Unova remakes. That's what I'm excited for.
You want Unova remakes?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for because they actually had a good story. So
I just want my next Legends games to be Johto, even though I feel like it most likely would be Kanto. Because like, there's so many other things that like Legends is just changing up a lot. Like, not only the origins of the Pokedex is changing because apparently Oak was the one who, like, it's always been known that Oak was the one who made the Pokedex. But if it's in this previous era, then obviously someone else has made it. And then Pokeballs is another thing. Those were supposed to have been established in the Johto region, which they still could have because someone has a Cyndaquil, so obviously someone went over to the Johto region. They could have, met someone.
we could have been saying
them.
that the apricot balls are a universal or not just a Johto regional thing. Just because they didn't have them in the other games, they just lost the art of making the balls from the different apricots.
No, but I was saying like the person who made the Pokeballs were invented in the Johto region from the native acorns from there.
I don't know how much of that is true. Okay, so yes, you're right. The invention of Pokeballs occurred in the Johto region, where apricorns grow. Okay. These fruit were cut apart, splitted with a special device, catch wild, blah, 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 modern times under Silph Co. Devon Corporation. Prior to the mass production of Silph Co. Devon Corporation, Macallow's Pokeball Factory. How old is this guy?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how old are these characters? How far back are they going into the region? I want to know, like, because if Pokeballs are appearing in this new Sinnoh region, is this like how old is what's his name?
Kurt.
Kurt. Yeah, Kurt. I thought it was like something like Tom or whatever, something basic. Like, but yeah, no, like Kurt was the original creator of the Pokeball. But if Johto's not an established region yet, then who would have created the Pokeball? Was it someone else? Did Kurt originally get the design from someone else, or is he alive and whatever professor is bringing you over these starter Pokemon also brought you Pokeballs from the Johto region, from Kurt, or these like a different kind of made balls made from some other kind of tree or fruit or whatever the frack, like. And if the Pokedex, like, if Oak isn't the original creator of the Pokedex, then who is?
Well, okay, as far as the Pokedex, we have a way easier explanation for the Pokedex versus the Pokeball. It could just be your professor goes, here's a journal. I want you to document what you can find in the wild as far as their height, their weight.
But I'm pretty sure in the trailer they say that you're doing research on the Pokedex.
I don't know. I think the Pokedex is a lot easier to argue than the Pokeball because you actually get to see it like a legit Pokeball. in the trailer for Arceus. And then if you look up any type of history, it says the invention of Pokeballs occurred in the Johto region. In the game, in the Memory Link event, Drayden, who is the Dragon Gym leader in Pokemon Black White 2, he claims that Pokeballs did not exist during his childhood. He's not that old. If we had to put an age on him, we'd say maybe at most 70. So, I don't know, man. I think they have to do some serious retconning, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that I guess we'll just have to see when that game actually comes out. Again, it's still just speculation because I like to wonder. I just, like I said, the Pokemon lore is completely frazzled, and I just
Yeah.
I just want to know what's up.
Yeah, I'm 100% down for more Legends games because I'd be more interested in those than actual recreations until we get Unova Gen 5 because that story was one of my favorites, and I'm a horror for story, whereas I don't really care about gimmicks or gameplay or anything like that. Like, I'd rather play the story and get a good story going.
And you know me, I'm about both. I want some good story. I want not crazy gimmicks. I'm picky about my gimmicks, or particular, I guess. But yeah, that basically wraps up what we had to say about the Pokemon games. As we get more information, we'll keep y'all updated. I guess for now, a couple things to look out for the rest of March. We'll be doing some updates regularly, but keep in mind the Digimon Vitals will be coming out soon. I think more towards the March we'll probably get them, and we'll be able to give you an update. As for games coming out, we've got
as far as games, there's a lot coming out, but a lot of them are either like ports or just updates for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS. The ones I'm looking forward to, Yakuza Like a Dragon, we're going to be March 2nd for PS5. Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, March 16th for the Switch. I have Marvel's Avengers, and I highly recommend anyone playing it. Again, if you have a PC, it is on Steam Unlocked. Support the official release, but if you can get something for free, why not? Marvel's Avengers for PS5/Xbox Series XS on March 18th. And that's pretty much it that I'm looking forward to. There's a lot coming out in March, but I don't really care that much about all of this stuff.
Yeah, like I said, like Apex Legends for the Switch, that's kind of cool. I play on PC mainly. Crash Bandicoot for It's About Time, March 12th for PS5, Xbox Series X, and Switch. Might cop that because I love Crash. And then Monster Hunter Rise, March 26th is coming out on the Switch. I've got that pre-ordered. I will definitely be on that. If anybody wants to get on some Monster Hunting, let me know. I'll drop you my friend code. Shoot me a DM in the Discord.
Are you going to get that console, the Switch?
No, it's out of my price range. I'm just might get the Pro Controller, but I'm still saving up to see if they do release any kind of specialty Switch coming out. Highly doubt they will for Legend of Zelda or something. But if I get the Joy-Cons, that'd be kind of cool. If anyone wants to hook a homie up, I couldn't get the pre-order because, of course, scalpers. Which again, I could not get any of the Pokemon 25th anniversary merch, like the collector's binder for the jumbo cards or the Pikachu jumbo card itself. So again, if anyone finds any of those, hit your homie up as long as they're reasonably priced. But other than that, Kingdom Hearts games are coming to PC at the end of March as well. So that'll be kind of cool.
Are you gonna play it on the PC?
I might actually, but
that'd be fun to watch you stream it.
I could stream it on PS4 still. I just.
Oh yeah, I guess you could do it that way too. Twitch.tv/Bwenzilla.
Yeah, give me a follow on subtle plug. Give me a follow on Twitch. I do like to stream on the weekends. I'll try to do more often once my schedule gets a little more open up.
Real quick, Twitch owners, you have until the end of this month, March 31st, to grab the following list of games off of the eShop, and then they will be pulled April 1st. That includes Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light, Super Mario Bros. 35, Game & Watch, Super Mario Bros., and Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which I'm probably going to buy Super Mario 3D All-Stars just because I do like Mario Sunshine. I don't really care about the other two, but I do want to play Sunshine again.
I got it. It was fun. I still need to beat it, but I've really enjoyed All-Stars so far. My roommate hadn't played 64 ever, so we got him to play that. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, pick those games up, guys. Those are all going away. I'll try to keep y'all updated on when the next episode will be, but I guess until then, y'all stay saucy.